ancient alchemy truly
US
is
guys, balik lagi
fascinating.
bersama gue Reza Promo. Oke, kali ini kita akan bermain game Genshin Impact teman-teman. Dan baru update ya, dan bisa dilihat FPS gue rada ngedrop setelah upgrade, dan ya seperti inilah teman-teman. Langsung saja ya, kita menyelesaikan misi ini teman-teman. Karena banyak yang, waduh masih banyak ya, kita kesini aja. Nah ini, menuju pociku, rumahku. Rumah? Wow, kita gaskan aja. Wih, kita ada dekorasi, cuk. Dekorasi X.
I'm hungry.
Let's go cuy, let's go. Ini apa ini? Kita memahami ya teman-teman. Bang, kenapa nggak live? Ada sesuatu ya sekarang. Ada sesuatu pokoknya teman-teman. Ini apa sih baru? Terus sekarang itu doang Taifat. Oh, kita kesini teman-teman. Set. Di Liu ya. Apakah di tempat nenek-nenek yang ada pocinya? Bisa jadi. Karena kita pernah masuk ke dalam poci ya, yang dari nenek-nenek itu. Pas ketemu Adeptus kalau nggak salah. Tapi saya lupa. Let's go saja cuy. Dan ini settingannya menengah nih, FPS-nya teman-teman bisa lihat di sini. 30. Gua setting 60 dan gerak. Waduh, kurang nyaman nih, cuk. Apa daya ya, kita nikmatin aja teman-teman. Oke. Nah, bener kan? Jadi feeling kita ini harus feeling ya teman-teman. Memainkan feeling.
Ah, children, come. You've arrived.
Oh, dia mencari kita cuy.
Oh, no. You've done so much for Leo Harbor already. I could not. In fact, my old friends and I have been putting our heads together to think of what sort of gift.
Kita mau dikasih hadiah. Wow. Tidak perlu sebegitunya. Kita menolak dulu.
Child, you are so very modest. Uncommonly so even.
Oke, kalau nenek memaksa kita harus ambil.
I heard your little friend mention that you often camp out in the wilds.
Oh, sering berkemah di luar. Wow.
That simply won't do. Fortunately, I have not yet grown so old as to see my subspace creation. Oh, did my friends never mention that to you? Well then, it is a blessing we old folks once received. I will not go into too much detail, but subspace creation. The teapot that you entered previously was a little trinket created using.
So, in the eyes of an adeptus, creating a magic teapot.
Oh, indeed, the teapot is nothing to boast of. One such as myself must depart from this realm to create a world of one's own. Rex Lapis, on the other hand, moved mountains. But that's enough nostalgia for now. The gift that I have prepared for you just requires a few final materials to add.
That's right!
Oh, settle down now, children. There's no need for you to go What's more, I doubt that you would know how to find the materials I am searching for. Well, for starters, I require some shimmer soil from downward, following the roots of the glazed lilies. And if you were lucky enough, you just might find a small patch. But almost no one has been able to find shimmer soil in this manner since even more difficult to find is smaragdus jadeite, which must be chiseled from the... In any case, smaragdus jadeite is an adepti treasure, and the... goodness knows if that...
Well, since you're an adeptus, Grant...
Yes. I suppose
she counts? How come there are so many adepti in Liyue Harbor? We seem to bump into the...
Oh, maybe so. Who can say? A fair few of my old...
I'm back, Granny.
Apa ini?
I don't believe we've met.
Oh, ini yang baru ya, karakter baru ya. Tadi gue udah nyoba sih.
Allow me to do the honors.
Yanfei.
This child here is Yanfei. Yanfei, I believe you already
Yanfei?
heard of the traveler and his traveling companion.
Of course, who hasn't? Much has been written about you became one of Liu.
Wanted after the Millilith marked you as a...
Before finally defeating an ancient god together with Granny and her associates, and subsequently being cleared of any and all suspicion by the... A shame that we didn't meet sooner.
Lebih awal, oke.
If we had, well, I can't say that I would have been able to clear you of suspicion immediately, but it certainly... Allow me to introduce myself once more. I'm Yanfei, a legal advisor. Got a legal problem? You can come right to me. Oh, yes. Here's my business card. You'll find it has my contact details. If you have an urgent issue, just leave me a note at this address. Oh, and I almost forgot to...
All
Lewat,
right,
Cuk. Kayak
Yanfei,
pisil.
all right. Let's get to the business at hand. I do not think you'll have to excuse Yanfei. She's always been like this.
Paimon was gonna ask the same question.
An adeptus? I guess. Kinda. My old man said he mentioned that he once campaigned with Rex Lapis for a long old time. They had me, and once I was all grown up, the two of them upped and left on a journey, leaving me with Granny here.
Oke.
Well, that's a bit casual for an adeptus. Aren't you guys supposed to sign
Jangan
solemn
lupa ngopi,
contracts
teman-teman.
to protect Liyue Harbor and all that stuff? What do you...
Well, my dad did say that he'd talked it through with Rex Lapis, and that he was fine with it. Anyway, let's not dwell on that too much. So, Granny, I've gotten the chasm's been sealed off, and there's just no way in. Couldn't secure any documentation either.
Is that so? Yanfei, are you sure you can't find some other way?
I know, Granny, you've told me 1,000 times already. Well, hold on.
Whoa, that's a
Iya,
really
buku dia
thick
punya
book.
buku. Siap.
What kind of things do you write?
Commercial consultancy. Krusel. A Snezhnayan merchant who once came to me with some legal queries on certain articles in the legal codices. He mentioned that he was considering acquiring some smaragdus jadeite to make hairpins, and wanted to know if there were any legal ramifications that he should be aware of. Said he was planning to sell them, so I guess I'll go look for him. With any luck, he'll have gotten his hands on some Oh, you want to join me? I suppose that's no problem, but...
Wow, an adeptus
Cara
imploring us
bisa
to
memperingati kita untuk
avoid
menjadi oke.
incurring legal liability. Best we be a little more careful than usual.
Oke, sip. Sebentar, teman-teman. Oke. Bicara dengan cross. Cross L gitu ya. Cross L. OTW cuy. Dan perkenalkan ini Razor ya. Untuk segini doang teman-teman di HP ya. Tapi lumayan lah buat login doang ya kan. Kalau buat ngerekam gini hasilnya pakai PC. Iya. Tapi nanti aja teman-teman. Kita upgrade PC-nya slow. THR keluar tapi jangan. Buat keperluan
Hello,
lainnya.
Mr. Krusel. How's business been?
Oh, good, very good. All thanks to your advice, Miss Yan.
You're too kind. I was simply doing my job. Now, I believe that the last time we met, you mentioned that you were looking to source some smaragdus jadeite to make hairpin.
Well, yes, as a matter of fact, in the end I did acquire a small piece of smaragd. Miss Yanfei, might I presume that you have an interest in the hairpins? I must
Wait, isn't smaragdus jadeite really rare? Aren't you worried about the hairpins getting damaged or lost?
No, I'm not worried in the slightest, because I signed a contract with Miss Zhiqiao before rent. The contract makes it quite clear that if she loses or damages the item in
Ganti
question,
rugi,
in
gila.
return, I included a clause that guarantees the smaragdus jadeite is genuine, with a penalty of 10 times the item's value payable by me to Miss Zhiqiao in the event that it is shown to be a
Guaranteed genuine, with 10 times the value payable if this claim is shown to be false.
Of course. This way, both the client and I have the assurance.
In that case, might you know where Miss Zhiqiao lives? We'd like to pay her a visit and have a look at the...
Oh, of course.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Cross.
Let's go. Bicara dengan Shinseku. Anjir, gue pakai gamepad main itu jadi beda teman-teman. Gue megangnya aneh ya. Gue kalau pakai gamepad ribet Genshin Impact cuy. Apa belum terbiasa ya? Gue ada sih tapi ribet. QQ. Wah, gue dapet clay udah trio bocil cuy kalau dapet clay. Tapi bannernya udah nggak datang ya. Gue penasaran sama ikat rambut langka.
Whatever shall I do? Yes, that's me. Is there something I can help you with?
How do you do, Monsieur Chow? We understand my associates and I are very interested in them. Would you mind letting us take a look at them?
The hairpins. I don't know how it could have happened. I spent so much money on them. If I have to pay, my family is in the ore business too, but business has been suffering ever since the chasm was sealed off. We now have a backlog of paid-up orders just sitting around. A big banquet is coming up in a few days, and several ore merchants. That's what the hairpins were for. But now that I've lost the...
Why does Paimon have a sudden strong sense?
Would you really? I sent a commission to the adventurers.
Hold on. Don't run off looking for the hairpins just yet. Monsieur Chow.
Huh? Well, I mean...
Let me see.
That's right! Yanfei said she... True.
Right. I finished reading the contract.
Ini orang hukum
The
ya,
terms are very clear.
Kayaknya
And
orang
they do
Medan.
indeed stipulate that you must pay Mr. Crosso the original value of the hairpins as compensation for the loss. Furthermore, the contract also expressly, and given the rarity of Smaragdus jadeite, I fear that the final amount...
Even higher?
Astaga.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
However, all of...
Did you really have to pause before saying... Whichever way you look at it...
Except that if we found the hairpins, there'd no longer be any...
Please. Please, Don't trouble yourselves over this. However much it is, I will have to pay it. Now that it's come to this, I really shouldn't keep Crossel in the dark any longer.
Yes, legally speaking. So hold on a moment, Monsieur
What did I feel? Well, I remember that the gemstone said my family has seen much jade pass through its hands in the past.
Smooth to the touch. No, it's nothing. I just need to re-examine...
Oke, kita balik lagi. Oh, Andre sih salah anjir. Tadi di sini gue nggak ngeh. Oh, ini dia.
You can't beat the atmosphere here and leave it.
Ah, Miss Yanfei, you've returned. With Miss Jiqiao in tow.
Oh, kita cepu ya.
You
Tapi
lost
kita harus
them.
jujur ya.
Are you serious? Do you have any...
I'm sorry. Truly, I
Tapi
am.
harus jujur sih bener.
I'll pay the company.
Mora? Do you have any idea what I had to go... I just don't... Forget it. Talking won't bring them back.
No problem. But before I can give an official estimate, I'll need to do a little market research. Ah, yes. And if I may just confirm again, it was in fact genuine Smaragdus jadeite inlaid into the hairpins, correct?
Of course. Genuine article...
All right, understood. I'll conduct some market research, and once I'm back, I'll provide...
Thank you very much.
Looks like I'll have to find...
Please wait, Mr. Chow. It's not convenient to speak...
Santai. Ini ada orang hukum sih, jadi kita santai aja, oke? Santai. Let's go.
I should open a store here.
$140, oke, lari aja cuy. Kemarin gue malah dapet Rosalia doang ya. Berharap dapet Cilde. Tapi nggak apa-apa ya. Ini masih bisa gacha 10 Primogen. Dia tanya sama siapa ya? Si Kiao. Oh ini. Wow. Nggak ada orang.
Miss Yanfei, what is this about? Are you...
No. What I wanted to talk about is, there is a chance that the ore inlaid on those hairpins may not be...
What do you mean? Are you implying that you already sneaked off and found them?
Obviously not. I'm no adventurer, let alone a member of the guild. I don't run thankless, time-consuming errands for a living. I don't know if Granny told you this, but Smaragdus jadeite is found deep underground and contains very concentrated element. If mere mortals come into contact with it, well, they'll be sick in the best case. And in the worst case, they could even experience a dramatic change of personality. Mr. Chow, did you at any time feel unwell while the hair...
No, not at all. I felt perfectly
berarti ada
fine the whole
kepalsuan sih.
time.
Oke, boleh.
Now that is strange. If I've deduced correctly, he may still have the Smaragdus jadeite, and
If that's the case, we should go confront him right now and
Taruh
absolutely
santai dulu,
not.
santai. Jangan
If we were to
gegabah.
confront him
Tidak
now,
boleh.
there's no way he would admit to it. Eventually, he would find
Nah,
some
benar,
argument to
benar.
compel, and then he'd throw the Smaragdus jadeite
Ini
into the
orang
sea
hukum,
the
jadi
moment
kita
we
harus
were
ngikutin
gone.
ya.
After
Yep.
that, he would simply insist that Mr. Chow pay up per the contract. He would lose nothing.
Benar.
Meanwhile, we would have to look under
Jadi
every
kita bisa
stone in
gugat
Liyue,
balik,
hoping
kita telah
and praying
ditipu
that the
oleh
hairpins do actually
kepalsuan
still exist
jepit
somewhere in
rambut.
this world.
Oke, keren.
so vivid that Paimon thinks it might be experience.
Oh, it certainly is. I've seen my fair share of situations like this, and
kan,
brute
kan.
force methods are certainly one way of resolving them. Fortunately,
Well then, since you're so experienced in dealing with problems like this,
Gua kira mau kesini,
perhaps
ini
you
jepit
can help me,
rambut
Miss
lu,
Yanfei.
malah jalan doang, kampret.
oh, that won't be a problem. But first, Mr.
Huh? Does there have to be a contract for everything?
This
Paimon
is
can't even keep
business,
track.
cuy. Bisnis Liyue itu kota bisnis. Kita harus tanda tangan kontrak di atas materai.
It feels like Yanfei is even more concerned with them than...
These are my formal terms of engagement. Everything prior to now has just been pro bono advice. But for me to investigate any further, I require a written contract. Any work commissioned but not bound by a contract?
I understand. Then I will be glad to place this...
No problem. Just sign here, and I'll sign too. Okay. Now write your address here, and I'll also need your signatures on pages.
Contract has so many pages.
All right, that should do it. My fees are the same as always, and they're written in the contract.
I've had a read through.
Jadi
Everything checks
udah
out.
dari dulu ya kontrak-kontrak.
Well then, here's your copy of the contract.
Siapa yang kerja
will retain
terus
the
ada
other
tangan
copy.
kontrak. Hihi.
Not for now, no. Despite how intractable this problem might sound, I don't believe you have been part of an investigation like...
Miss Yanfei, I have to ask, why are you helping me?
Karena dia orang hukum dan naruli dan kita juga mencari item itu ya.
Because, as it happens, I'm
Nah,
currently
bener kan?
trying to acquire some Smaragdus jadeite myself. I noticed strong traces of geo-energy around Mr. Cross.
yeah, yeah.
Whether he actually made it into an item of jewelry or not is a separate matter. But either way, it's a lead. As long as we follow it, who knows? Also, the idea of someone abusing the law to their advantage, I won't stand for
aku tidak
it.
bisa membiarkannya karena sudah dibohongi.
But again,
Tapi
let's
dia
not dwell
udah
on
punya
this.
barangnya.
Let's go to...
Yang dipinjemin itu palsu, bisa jadi.
Where can we find someone who processes... Ah, I've got it! Let's pay a visit to Chateau, the boss of the Jade Mystery. He's a
Si
professional.
Hutao.
If Mr. Crossell had his ore worked on at all, Chateau...
Oke, yuk gas. Berapa? 19. Oh ini ya. Kita suruh nebak-nebak.
Why, hello there, honored customers. Welcome to... Oh! Surely not more spurious claims that...
No, nothing
No,
of the
no.
sort. Has a Snezhnyan merchant named Crossell in...
A Snezhnyan merchant named
Nah, bener,
Crossell, you
Crossell.
say? I do remember that. He brought me a piece of ore, claiming that it was Smaragdus jadeite.
Mengklaim kan.
That was the first time I'd ever encountered it, so I had no way of telling if it was really Smaragdus jadeite or... He was quite generous with his money, too, so I didn't give it too much thought. Why, yes.
Demi cuan,
It
sih.
was my first time encountering this ore, after all, so I kept a few loose shavings to study myself later. There.
Thank you, sir. We'll take a...
Kita lihat, bukan kayaknya. Cari serpihan, oke. Jalan kaki aja. Oke, sit. Amati. Anjir diinjek. Debus dong.
Try your luck betting on Jade?
Huh? If my eyes don't deceive me, the cross sections and patterning
Semardus
suggest
snare print.
that these are Smaragdus
Dia apel ya
shavings.
dari keluarga itu juga sih.
Yes, it's not particularly rare, nor is it especially valuable. It's used to make jewelry all the time.
Bukan batu yang sangat langka, tidak terlalu berharga juga. Untuk membuat
I've heard it said that Smaragdus nephrite is in fact the outer layer of Smaragdus
lapisan luar
jadeite,
doang.
though no one's ever proven.
A thin layer of separation.
If you must see for yourself, try examining these shavings for traces of elemental energy. Smaragdus nephrite is an entirely ordinary ore containing...
Is that so?
Oke.
So, did you find anything?
Mana tadi? Tidak ada.
So they really are different. But wait, how come Jichao was able to tell what it was just...
There's nothing special to it. It just so happens that I've come across a great many of these in my time. These two stones actually look very similar. Someone without a deep understanding of... There may be only a subtle
Kita bisa
difference for
ngugat
the
balik,
casual viewer. And, I'm sure, a significant difference...
All right, let's focus up. We're going off on a tangent.
But, never mind, Shirto. Why would Mr. Crossell...
Unusual actions have unusual reasons behind them. Let's take some of these shavings back to Chateau.
Oke, yuk gas. Laporkan kembali ke Sito. Oke, kita laporkan. Itu bukan itu apa namanya?
Miss
Lupa gua.
Yanfei? Might I be so...
If you could just confirm for me once more, sir. Mr. Crossell did...
Yes, that's right. I still have a record of the job with me, in fact. Here.
Then I have no further questions. But could I borrow the processing record?
Of course. But...
Oh, I have my reasons. Yes. Please sign here on this affidavit. This document shall serve as signed proof that these stone shavings originated from the...
Yes, I see. Forgive me for asking.
I wouldn't say there's been an incident. Just a minor issue.
With this hard evidence to back us up,
On the contrary, this is far from sufficient to build a case. If you want to make jewelry, you need a professional jewelsmith. Let me think.
Ngapain?
Jewelry. Aha! Got it! Singxi. She often helps people to find a jewelsmith.
well, that was quick.
Because lots of people come to me for legal advice every day. As you know, Liyue Harbor is the city of contracts.
Iya,
And contracts, well, but the amendments made by the Tianquan to our laws are unnecessarily complicated. As such,
So you help them make sense of the law.
Yes, well, that's
Ini
no
ngapain yang
obstacle because
di-shooting
I've memorized
ini?
all the legal codices.
Akan-akan menunjukkan buku atau paha. Kalau dari sini ya, nah kalau dari sini, aduh, kacau, nggak jelas sih.
You sound surprised. Knowing the law inside out is a legal
Secara tidak
advisor's
langsung
bread
dia
and butter, you know?
mempengaruhi alam bawah sadar kita, cuy. Jangan sampai kita gacha buat ini. Gak jelas ya, oke.
Oh, this has nothing to...
Again with that casual...
Well, that's that then. Let's go.
Ayo kita cari. Oke, kita dapat serpihannya, teman-teman. Serpihan ya, bicara dengan... Oke, gua nanti kesini lagi. Terima kasih atas suratnya, oke? Thank you atas informasinya juga. Oke, kita melanjutkan, cuy. Kita melanjutkan ke King Shi. Nyebutnya apa sih? King Shi. Nah, ini perhiasan ya. Kita pernah menjual ke sini juga, teman-teman.
Oh, Miss Yanfei, it's you.
Kok mirip semua sih orangnya?
Have no further trouble from then on? Yes, of course. Has a merchant by the name of Crossell asked you to put him in contact?
Crossell. Yes, I remember him. He's a merchant from Snezhnaya, no? Yes, the design of the hairpins that he gave me was quite intricate, so it took me some work to find someone who was up to the job. Eventually, I found an older... This order was on hold for a very long time, and
Doesn't seem like there's any evidence to be found here.
Miss Singxi, I'd like for you to confirm for me once more. When Mr. Crossell commissioned you to find him a jewelsmith, did he or did he not assert that the...
Yes, I'm sure of it. The hairpins were made using many expensive materials, and the asking price was quite high, so Mr. Crossell wasn't very familiar with the necessary procedures, so I also kept a copy for my own records. See for yourself, the item is called Smaragdus Jadeite. The inlaid gemstone is recorded as Smaragdus Jadeite. The document even has the official seal of the
Ini
ministry
kayak
on it.
teman-teman bikin perhiasan ya, toko emas gitu, kita harus sertifikasi apakah itu emas asli, terus kandungannya apa, diamond kah atau apapun, atau perak, perunggu, atau emas putih ya. Oke,
Thank you,
siap.
Singsi. Now, could you let...
Sure, it isn't serving much purpose here anyway.
Jadi buat
I take it
memperkuat
then that
dan
there's
biar
been some
resmi
more trouble?
aja, dan itu real. Tapi ini untuk mengetes batu itu tidak ada orangnya cuy, jadi dia cuma asal nembak aja ya. Ini asli gitu, kita belum nanya ini aslinya dari mana gitu loh.
Nothing you need to worry about. Just a minor issue. I'll return your document as soon as I'm done with it.
Why is everyone's first reaction always to assume someone or something?
I believe we have almost all the evidence we need. We just need to make one last
Bubu
trip.
Farmi.
Let's go to Bubu
Pharmacy.
Pharmacy to speak with Dr. Baiju.
Farmaci, oke.
The weirdo
Baiju?
with the snake around his neck? What do you...
Because only he can provide an authoritative
kan, bener
statement
kan?
confirming that Smaragdus... Once we have this final piece of evidence in our hands...
Nah ini yang memberikan ternyata ini cuy, siapa tadi? Baisu nih, keterangannya temen-temen bisa baca aja ya. Mana? Nggak bisa dibaca anjir. Keterangan tertulis dari Jade mana? Keterangan tertulis dari Jade. Nggak bisa dibaca. Biasanya bisa teman-teman. Tuh kayak gini kan bisa dibaca tuh. Tapi ini nggak bisa. Oke, bodo amat. Kita OTW saja. Thank you Bibi Bibi Kinky. Kita melanjutkan cuy. Apakah yang bapaknya Kiki ya? Gue lupa ingat tempat-tempatnya cuy. Kayaknya sih bapaknya Kiki yang jual obat-obatan itu ya. Kita harus pakai Kiki cuy. Hihi. Foster, oke Foster. Ini siapa lagi anjir? Oh iya bener.
Please, show me
Baisu.
your prescription.
My, to what do I owe the pleasure? Though I'm afraid that if you're looking for our little Chi-Chi, she's out gathering herbs. And if it
Yang
isn't
obat
Miss
kan, bener?
Yanfei as well. Now that's an even rarer honor.
No. I'm here this time to ask if you're familiar...
Smaragdus jadeite? Why, yes, there is some information about it included in the 6th comment. The 7 Mountain Treatises states that this substance springs forth from stone marrow within the mountains, and will bring It is abundant in elemental energy, so if someone without a vision is in contact with it for a prolonged period, best case scenario, they fall ill. Worst case
Nah, ini
scenario, they'll
tahu.
suffer great changes in personality.
Kenapa
and their
dikasih
illness-
izin sih? Apa disogok
Anyway,
ya?
I'm sure you didn't come all this way just to chit-chat. Knowing you, I suppose that you're about to ask me to write an official affidavit attesting to...
That is indeed the case. If you would be so kind...
No trouble at all. It's just a single document, won't take me a moment. I would mention, though, that you are not the only one who's developed a curiosity. But after I gave him my reply, his expression shifted. I wonder, Miss Yanfei, if...
You needn't concern yourself about that, Dr. Baiju. Thank you for
You're too kind.
Oke. Orang dalam, ada orang dalam lancar cuy.
Baiju guys, it's
Ayo
weird as
kita
ever.
sidak. Kita sidak cuy. Terima kasih
Does
dulu
it
cuy.
feel like he was fishing for something back there?
Terima kasih Bro Baizu ya.
Dr. Baiju's
Sudah
always been
membantu
like
kita.
that. Well,
Oke.
we have the
Sampai jumpa.
evidence we need. Let's go find Mr. Crossell.
Faster, oke faster. Faster, oke fasternya mana? Gak muncul-muncul ya? Aduh nyempil kan, kecil-kecil. Faster. Faster, oke faster. Ayo kita sidak cuy. Kita pakai yang serem. Crossel.
Miss Yanfei, have you finished your investigation? I trust you will now be in a position to assess the compensation due.
Oh, Anda salah paham.
Yes, my investigation is indeed concluded. I can now provide a...
Wonderful. Well then, please, could you do the honors, Miss...
Of course. According to the stipulations of the... Mr. Crossell, You
Kita
must pay Mr.
junjung dulu,
Chow
cuy.
10 times the original transaction price in Mora.
Sure. Wait, what? Me pay her?
Not at all. According to my investigations and the material evidence that we've gathered, the substance claimed to be smaragdus jadeite that was inlaid within the smaragdus jadeite. Now, the contract states very clearly that 10 times the price shall be paid should the article not be genuine. Accordingly,
terbukti tidak
you're
asli,
liable for this sum, which is payable to...
Material evidence? What material evidence? Why, Miss Yanfei, you cannot frame me. I spent a huge sum to obtain that smaragdus jadeite, and yet you claim that the ore inlaid on the hairpins is somehow fake?
Indeed. Only a testimony from an expert witness involved in the processing of the ore can serve as an authoritative assessment of whether it is genuine.
Oke,
Traveler, please produce the evidence in
tunjukkan
question.
bukti dari jadi mastery ya. Sing. Ini tiga-tiganya benar
This
sih.
is a processing record from the Jade Mystery, along with stone
Jadi teman-teman
samples
klik
and
aja
an
semua.
Seriously? Even the boss there couldn't differentiate between smaragdus jadeite and smaragdus nephrite. In any case, smaragdus nephrite is the outer layer of smaragdus jadeite. So I had him cut away the nephrite, he returned the valuable jadeite core to me, and some nephrite samples remain in the store. What am I missing exactly?
That's an unsubstantiated belief.
Well, your claim that my ore is fake is just as unsubstantiated. And we are here to talk.
Ugh. Looks like our first piece of evidence didn't convince him at all. Seems like
hard evidence, something legally binding. We have just the thing. Show him, Traveler.
This document proves that my hairpins are the real deal, doesn't it? This is the Ministry's seal, after all.
our second piece of evidence didn't work.
Nah, bukti ketiganya sih.
You know, you could be right.
Of course I'm right. All the evidence shown...
Well, hang on a moment now, because I do recall one final piece
Kita
of
bikin
evidence
seneng
that
dulu,
we have,
cuy.
Traveler.
Kita ulur dulu.
Would you do the honors?
Nah, nyo.
What's this?
Nyo. Skakster. Skakster.
Smaragdus jadeite springs forth from stone marrow within the mountains and will bring disaster to any mere mortal. Sustained contact with smaragdus jadeite over a prolonged period will, in less serious cases. Mr. Crossell, were you aware of these
I had...
No idea, you say? I'd guessed as much. But I'm afraid that this falls outside the scope of my work, but within that of the Ministry of... However, I'm sure that the Ministry will be relatively lenient, considering that, as you say, don't worry, Mr. Crossell, I will make sure that all the evidence... I trust that you'll give them your full cooperation in their investigations.
What? Wait!
Oh, so you knew? Oh, dear, Mr. Crossell. But if you knew of Smaragdus jadeite's dangerous
Huh? No,
Dia
The
jujur.
hairpins
Kita udah
actually...
skakster, cuy.
aren't actually inlaid with genuine Smaragdus jadeite? Is that what... You do understand, Mr. Crossell, that this means that you... Mr. Crossell, your answer, please. Michael...
He's seriously intimidating right now. It's like she's a different person.
Konsultasi hukum S berapa ya? S2 aja ya?
I admit it.
S3.
I confess. The ore I had inlaid on those hairpins was... But I'm a victim in all of this too. I invested a great deal of time and money into acquiring that small amount, but after receiving it and carrying it around for a few days, I started to feel extreme discomfort. I went to Boo Boo Pharmacy to get myself checked out, only to discover that this sort of stone cannot be worn as jewelry. But how could I let all... That's why I had another pair of hairpins made from Smaragdus nephrite, which is... I kept the real Smaragdus jadeite in a specially made box. I was worried that someone would see through it, which is why I only dared to rent them out, not sell them. And then to top it all off, Jiqiao lost the hairpins after...
Exactly. If they weren't the real deal, why'd you make her pay?
I didn't want to either, but when I purchased that Smaragdus jadeite, some of my business partners found out. I knew they'd be watching closely to see how much I could make off it. If word got out that I sold a pair of fake hairpins, then my days in this line of business would be over.
All right, let's cut the appeals phase right there. I failed to see what bearing any of this has on your transaction with my client.
10 times?
Ngapain sujud dia?
Crossell looks like he could faint any second.
As for me, according to my contract with Mr. Chow, 20% of that sum will go to me.
Kampret ya.
20%? That's as much as I spent on that Smaragdus jadeite.
There's no need. It's fine.
Oke,
You don't have to pay me
bijak
that much
sekali
more.
cuy. Bijak sekali, keren.
Even if the Smaragdus jadeite on those hairpins was fake, I still bear responsibility for losing them. Legally or not, I think...
Ms. Jichao...
However, Mr. Crossell, since you have no use for that chunk of Smaragdus jadeite, why don't you give it to me instead? I'll consider us even.
What? But all right then.
Miss Yanfei, I'll turn the Smaragdus jadeite over to you.
Gratis.
I trust that it will
Gak usah
suffice as
gelut-gelut,
remuneration.
cuy. Oke.
Well, that's not quite how the rules say this should go. But whatever. It'll do.
Thanks so much for your help this time, Miss Yanfei. When you have the time, I'll be sure to visit and express my thanks more.
Oh,
Aku yang
come
terima
on.
kasih,
No
cuy.
need to stand on ceremony. Now.
Well,
then, that's good. Mr. Crossell, it seems that my client has no further claims against you.
Is that so? That's good.
Actually, Mr. Crossell, I'd like to talk business for a second, if I may.
Channelnya keren
I
ya.
could see from the hairpins you produce that you're very skilled in jewelry design. My family, on the other hand, works in the ore business, and we have a
jadi
fair
partner,
stock
cuy.
of fine ores. If we could join forces, your jewelry designs and our choice ores,
Let
Cuan
me
pokoknya,
think for a
cuan.
moment.
Collab dia cuy. Waduh.
Well, that's that. And we've got the Smaragdus jadeite that Granny wants.
Exactly. Usually when someone tells us they've lost something, we end up... even though the solution didn't involve...
The right solution depends on your perspective. The objective of my client, Mr. Chow, was to reduce her liability to pay compensation. So, rather than looking high and an adeptus. Speaking of, you took part in that battle, didn't you? In which case, you would have heard what Liyue Harbor is now a city ruled by... The title of Adeptus means precious little to me compared to my job. In any case, don't you think that the Liyue Harbor of today needs legal consultancy far more than it...
Paimon can think of someone who would definitely disagree.
Well, since we got what we came for...
Oke, kita OTW lagi ke nenek tadi ya. Kita teleport aja cuy. Keren batunya cuy, hijau. Kita teleport ke... Tuh, di sini bisa ada teleport. Taruh batunya kita lihat teman. Ini sangat keren tuh. Mardidus jade. Screenshot dulu cuy. Oke, tap. Untuk Madame Pink menggunakan oke sip. Ya mirip kayak jade biru ya teman-teman. Jade apa? Nih kayak ini. Tambang ya. Nih kayak ini cuy. Talis jade. Sama-sama jade ya. Set. Ini teh poci. Udah nggak sabar cuy. Udah let's go. Aduh. Kita nggak sabar cuy. Teleport aja lah. Bodo amat. Anjir gue nggak sabar kalau punya rumah ya. Wah keren kayak dragon raja. Anjir gue suka dekorasi juga cuy. Waduh. Tapi sayang gue nggak top up ya. Semoga teman-teman mendukung channel ini untuk bermain Genshin Impact cuy. Aduh. Dengan cara menonton aja cuy dan share ya ke teman-teman gitu loh. Biar gue semakin semangat gitu loh. Aduh. Gila keren. Karena ini harus orang sultan cuy. Karena free to play itu ya seperti ini cuy.
Ah, you've returned. How did it go? Were you good? Then we have all the material.
Well, if we're all set, Granny, I'll get going now. Got a ton of clients waiting for me back at the office.
Thank you banget Yanfei telah menemani mencari batu yang sangat langka legendaris. Keren. Oke, lanjut.
You. All right then. Go see.
I'm off then. Bye. Oh yes, traveler. Make sure you don't lose the business card I gave you.
Oke, kita kasih kartu nama cuy.
I've been looking into the laws of other nations as well. If you should ever bump into any trouble with the law...
Come now, child. Are you leaving or are you not? If you have no wish...
I'm leaving!
Ya, nggak mau sibuk.
That child. Goodness knows where she learned to be so rambunctious. Her father was hardly so riotous or fond of... Indeed she is. Yanfei might be overly garrulous, but she is also the most intimately Liu is not the... All right then.
Oh,
Dia jangan sampai nostalgia lagi cuy. Panjang ceritanya.
It is but a...
Oke, yuk.
There we go. This, hold it firmly. If you were to drop it, take these blueprints with you as well. You'll need them if you wish to make
Terima kasih, Nek.
Wait a minute, Granny. How exactly?
Oh, you needn't worry about that. I've already arranged for a certain...
Oke, siap. OTW. Temannya Paimon ya. Suaranya itu ting. Oke, batu. Oke, poci. Quest selesai. Primogen. Toko roti terbuka. Gak bisa dipakai ya. Jumlah perabotan. Fakta yuk bisa dipakai teman-teman. Sudah mempelajari. Oh hilang cok. Waduh hilang.
This is a peaceful neighborhood.
Nah ini dia, petakan. Waduh, salah ada meja cuy. Masuk ke dalam pop. Waduh, kita milih yang mana teman-teman? Negeri awan, puncak zamrud, pulau tropis aja ya. Kalau negeri awan kayak gitu, gue milih ini aja lah. Pulau tropis. Kalau teman-teman terserah milih mana ya. Gue nggak tahu lah.
I smell rabbit.
Kopi dulu cah. Sakit pisau cok. Hilah lah.
Wow, this teapot seems even bigger inside than Madam Ping's, huh? But there's just a whole load of nothing around
Kayak
it.
Haide ya, oke. Nih, Paimon tolong pikirkan rumah.
Paimon can't do that. Still, why is it so empty? Oh, wait a second.
Ada rumah. Coba kita pakai ya teman. Petakan. Oh nggak bisa. Oh kalau mau tinggalkan gitu teman-teman, langsung tinggalkan aja ya. Ada misi-misi, banyak seru. Toko roti terbuka. Mana sih tadi? Nah ini dia. Sudah mau pelajari.
Well, it seems that we have a visit. It's a huge finch!
Burung pipit.
Excuse me, I am not a finch. Hang on a moment.
Siapa ya nama panggilanku?
Oh, call me.
Tabi.
I suppose you may call me Tubby.
Tabi, oke.
So you're the little helper. Madam Ping? Oh, you must mean Ping. Yes, you may leave all matters regarding your journey may be far from over. But though it is the Adepti who create realms such as this, they generally do not have the time. Thus, we teapot spirits were created to help. You may consider me. Now, allow me to explain this. Have you any blueprints on? As long as you have a blueprint. Blueprints? Oh, that's right.
Mana?
Yes, these are the blueprints I'm talking. Just commit the image of the objects to memory and prepare the necessary material. Then simply release the thought from your mind and the object in the blueprint shall...
Wow! Is that all it takes? Then we could build a whole city inside, couldn't we?
I doubt it. A golden-eyed adeptus explained, he said, that even though subspace creation is a product of adeptal power, this world is not a true one after all. It provides merely a moment of brief respite from the mortal
A golden-eyed adeptus?
I hardly remember myself. Well, let's not dwell on that. Have a look around. If there's anything you would like...
Oke. Wow. Oke, bener. Kamu dapat membuat berbagai macam item. Menu pembuatan, oke. Oke. Dari apa? Bahan-bahan yang digunakan untuk membuat item dapat dikumpulkan dari semua tempat di dunia. Oke, setelah mendapatkan perabotan, gunakan fungsi letakkan untuk menaruh benda tersebut pada posisi. Oke. Tempat perabotan meningkatkan rank adventure. Oke, dan oke, sip. Menggunakan elemen meledakan. Oke. Kali pedagang oke, mengunjungi tempatmu, ada kemungkinan bahwa dia akan nggak sabar anjir gue jika kamu mendapatkan diagram untuk kamu bisa meletakkan banyak perabotan sekaligus kamu dapat membuat penyesuaian. Oke, thank you. Tekan untuk membuka menu. Gue jalan-jalan cuy. Gila keren. Oh, ini kita tinggalkan di situ ya. Harap untuk mengikuti. Oke, terima dong. Ini bangun. Ntar kita ini map kita ya teman-teman. Di zoom mentok segini doang. Nah, kita kan milih pulau ya. Kalau teman-teman negeri di atas awan ya terserah. Bodo amat. Wih, ini ada analog ya. Sip. Ini buat maju-maju. Oke, bangun. Kita sudah pakai tadi. Kita di sini aja cuy. Oke, terus bangunan ulama 750. Kita ada cuy. Sekarang, oh ini yang itu ya. Terus oke, di situ aja. Perabotan belum ada ya teman-teman. Baru itu doang. Sip. Meja. Oke. Pulau perlu. Oke, tidak bisa. Oke, sip. Simpan perubahan. Gila keren. Wih, di mana, Cuk? Oh, di sono. Jadi depannya mana ini? Kok kebalik ya? Aneh sih, taruh. Gue naruh di sono kok kebalik. Oh, gimana sih? Kita di belakang ya teman-teman. Kita pindah dulu. Nah, depannya mana sih? Oh, depan rumahnya ini teman-teman. Oh, depan rumahnya ini ya. Jadi ke rumah kita madep kemana ya? Jadi gua tahu. Maju dikit, set. Kamu di sini aja. Karena ini pas depan jalan ya. Nah, ini kita taruh sini aja cuy. Kita putar. Nah, gini biar rapi. Sip. Simpan. Sip. Nah. Oh, beda lagi anjir. Bodo amat lah. Yang kita kesini dulu cuy. Oh, ini harap tunggu ya. Masih loading ternyata. Oh, ini antrian itu bener sama ya. Oh, ini buat istirahat doang. Oke, sip. Sama ya, sama kayak di sono. Kita lanjut buka atas dulu, ada sesuatu yang baru nggak? Oke, udah pas ya. Lantai rasio nggak penting. Poci udah ya. Kita masuk ke dalam cuy. Nah ini. Ambil. Dapatkan 30 dengan menebang kayu. Kita tebang cuy. Oke, kita nanti itu nanti aja ya. Kita review dulu cuy. Ini questnya udah selesai berarti ya. Oke, questnya udah selesai belum ya? Oh, nggak bisa solo mode cuy sini. Kita review dulu cuy. Tapi udah. Aduh, gue lupa tadi udah selesai belum ya? Wow. Kosong anjir, tingkat cuk. Rumah idaman. Wah, rumah gue kalau beli kayak gini lah. Kamar ya kan. Wah, bisa ini. Gue cita-cita pengen punya rumah seperti ini teman-teman. Ternyata sekarang masih ngontrak. Nikmati saja. Ini kosong ya. Kamar di bawah ada 2. Ada ruang tamu siap. Ada ke atas dulu. Anjir, ini idaman banget sih. Semua game ada dalam satu game ini udah. Ini kamar juga. Kamar gue lah ntar. Tapi nggak bisa dibuka. Oke, ini kayak villa ya teman-teman. Ini nggak ada outdoornya gitu. Apakah desain sendiri? Udah nanti aja. Kita kesini dulu, klik poci, ambil. Oke. Ronde 1 nanti kita selesaikan ya. Pakai. Ini saat minum anggur. Terus ini ya, pencet tangan kalau mau ngedit. Banyak sekali. Yang pertama di dekorasi ada sekarang pintu. Ini pintu buat atas ya kayaknya. Oke, ini pakai duit nggak? Pakai 60 poci cuy, tapi nggak apa-apa ya buat dekorasi. Masih ada 210 siap. Ini ruang makan cuy, 240. Belum bisa ya teman-teman. Masih belum bisa. Jadi kita pintu dulu aja cuy. Kita udah dapet ini ya sekarang itu. Udah dipasang kalau ada tulisannya sekarang. Ini belum. Sekarang udah kan. Kita harus bikin nanti aja. Hewan, ada hewannya juga cuy. Ada 3 set. Oke, siap. Oke, siap, keren. Banyak sekali. Ini di luar ya kayaknya cuy. Tas atau perabotan.
I'm hungry. Let's hunt.
Langit, lampu. Ini sekarang. Ini apa ke atas kita cuy? Kita ke atas ya. Sama aja teman-teman. kamar nih, kamar. Oke, sip. Kita keluar. Ini udah selesai kan misinya, teman-teman? Harusnya udah sih. Ya udah, sip. Oke, bener. Selesai. Oke, kita keluar aja, teman-teman. Kita lanjut di video selanjutnya ya, biar seru. Ntar gue review di video selanjutnya karena ini udah terlalu panjang, cuy. Keren. Rumah. Nah, ini kita keluarin dulu, teman-teman. Kan 10. Kita dapat pohon. Oke, teman-teman, sampai jumpa di video selanjutnya ya. Bereza Purnomo, sampai jumpa di video selanjutnya. See you, goodbye. Opening.